Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He is everyone's favorite bald man. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like The Rock in movies. You know, I don't think he's gonna be winning any Academy Awards anytime soon, but sometimes I like to see a large, muscular man punch things, and Dwayne serves that need quite well. And you know, when you look at the persona that I feel like he sells to people, he seems like a really nice guy. You know, he's always nice to interviewers in interviews. He donated money to SAG-AFTRA during the actor strike. And, you know, he just seems like a pretty nice, non-controversial guy. I mean, I know people got mad when he like endorsed Joe Biden or something. I don't care about that personally. And then he got into more controversy recently because he said that he's not going to endorse either Joe Biden or Donald Trump, and people still got mad at him for that. So whatever, who cares? Generally speaking, people like The Rock. However, it seems like behind the scenes, a lot of people aren't too big of a fan of him, because earlier today, The Wrap, which is a pretty reputable news outlet, they break a bunch of stories, talks about how The Rock is kind of a nightmare to work with on set. The article focuses on his upcoming movie Red One, which is apparently a Christmas movie about a villain that kidnaps Santa Claus. And I think The Rock is playing an elf, which is, I guess, supposed to be funny because, oh, he's a large man or something, and elves are supposed to be small. It's like, I don't know, whatever. And the allegations thrown at The Rock in this article are kind of wild. The article says, Johnson showed up as much as 8 hours late to set on the movie, forcing the crew to shoot around him on some days. That is absolutely insane. I don't understand how you do that. I can't imagine showing up 8 hours late to anything, whether it be like a birthday party, a bar mitzvah, my third cousin's wedding, my job. I don't care how famous you are. I don't care how much clout you have. I don't care how much fuck you money you have. I feel like it should just be human decency to just show up to things on time. Like, listen, I'm not going to claim to have been the most proficient, the most capable employee in my previous jobs. I mean, I've always tried my best, but you know, there have always been other employees that have been more capable than I was and whatnot. But one thing that I've always prided myself to this day at my current job, which to be clear is not YouTube, I do have a full-time job. One of the things that to this day I absolutely pride myself on is that I'd get to work on time. You know, it's just one of those things that I just do it. I just wake up in the morning because I have to do it. I wake up early enough that I'm not necessarily like rushing to get dressed and leave at a reasonable time so that I'm not rushing to get to work. And this is a tip to anybody that might be watching, that maybe you're a kid, maybe you're like a teenager. The one thing that you can absolutely do and control that is going to get your boss to like and appreciate you is to just be there on time. If you are reliable and you're just there, you might have a coworker that is maybe more competent at their job, but your boss is going to appreciate you more if that other guy is regularly showing up late to work. It's just wild to me when people just don't show up to work on time. I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent there. The Rock showing up 8 hours late to set is unbelievable. I mean, for people that don't know, time wasted on a film set can lead to millions of dollars being flushed down the toilet. The studio has to pay all of the film crew that is just standing around on set because Dwayne Johnson didn't show up and we have nothing to do. And then guess what? They have to schedule some other day for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to come in and film the scene that he missed because, yeah, you obviously have to get the scene shot. I mean, absolutely absurd and cringe, and you're bald. I mean, to be honest, this is so egregious that I'm not even entirely sure that I believe The Wrap, even though they are a reputable outlet. Like, this isn't some random website that's coming up with this rumor. This is one of the main outlets that reports on film, so they are very much credible. This is fucking insane, though. Now, apparently The Rock didn't do this on Red One, But apparently on other films, he would go so far as to pee in bottles in order to save time.
Bruh.
And I'm wondering if the primary reason why he needed to save time is because he got to set so late that they had to just like rush and film the scenes. The article doesn't explicitly say that, but that has to be the reason, right? Because why would you need to save time to such a degree that you're peeing in bottles, my guy? And I just want to say, I don't care how much fuck you money The Rock has. If I'm like his assistant and he tells me to dispose of his pee bottle like I'm working for a fucking World of Warcraft gamer that can't leave his couch because he's mining for gold or killing an orc or whatever you do in World of Warcraft, I would quit immediately. Hell no, am I not disposing of some guy's piss bottle. Because what are we talking about? Like, actually, what are we talking about here? Absolute insanity that we are witnessing right now. Now, one of the things that is kind of most well known about The Rock is that he's a very busy man. He stars in like 5 movies a year. I think he has like a tequila company or something. I think he has like an energy drink. I think he's currently involved in wrestling. I think he also produces TV shows like Young Rock. And I've always kind of admired the guy. I've been like, damn, what a hardworking guy. He manages to do all of these projects. What an impressive man. And apparently he's actually not able to do all of these projects because the production of his films have just been suffering. Maybe the only reason why he's able to do all of this stuff is because he does them all kind of poorly. Like, referring to the Ballers show that I was talking about earlier, this line here is insane. Johnson's tardiness has been an issue for a number of years. They rent a location they can shoot as much as they can of other actors while they wait for him to decide if he's coming to set, a producer who visited the set of HBO's Ballers told The Wrap. A former production assistant on the show corroborated this, saying he was regularly 3 to 4 hours late to set, keeping 100+ crew members waiting for no reason. According to a third insider in March of 2017, Johnson was 6 hours late to the Ballers set. Absolutely absurd stuff going on here. This also seemingly sheds some light on the other controversies that The Rock has had, namely his feud with Vin Diesel. You know, The Rock had publicly said that they had, like, differences in how they approach filmmaking. Vin Diesel had made some weird comments about how he had given Dwayne Johnson some tough love as far as getting the performance that he wanted out of The Rock. And honestly, for a long time, a lot of us, like, just laughed at Vin Diesel because we kind of just assumed that, oh, well, Vin Diesel, he has to be the guy that's in the wrong here, right? Well, this article from The Wrap is now saying that at least some of their disagreements actually stemmed from Vin Diesel just being mad that The Rock was showing up to set late. And remember, Vin Diesel is a producer on the Fast and the Furious movies. The Rock either showing up late or just not showing up at all to some shoots actually costs Vin Diesel money. So if it's the case that Vin Diesel was just really mad that The Rock kept on showing up to set late, unquestionably, Vin Diesel would be in the right in that situation. And if that really is the root of their beef, then my apologies to Vin Diesel, because Dwayne was quite literally forcing him to just throw money into a garbage can and light it on fire. Honestly, thinking about it, I can't even imagine the rage that I would have if somebody put me in a situation like that. The Wrap also mentioned that The Rock had a bit of a beef with Ryan Reynolds, even though that one was never made public. And apparently Ryan Reynolds was mad about The Rock showing up to late on Red Notice. And interestingly enough, that was a movie that was supposed to have a sequel. And they've been taking their sweet time in making it. Who knows? Maybe getting Ryan Reynolds to agree to do another one. Maybe they've had trouble doing that. Although, please, for the love of God, do not make another one of those. Now, apparently, there is one kind of good thing that has come from Dwayne Johnson being tardy. And it is that because of his tardiness, crew that work on his movies tend to work the minimum hours for them to get health insurance simply because they have to be there on set at all times just in case Dwayne Johnson shows up. Not to get too political here, but what a wonderful country that we live in where because things aren't working the way that they're supposed to, people have health insurance now. Just great. Just wonderful. Nothing dystopian about that at all. That being said, it should be noted that Dwayne Johnson's team denies a bunch of the stuff in this article, so it should just be noted that, yes, this article has a bunch of sources that are alleging all of these things, but Dwayne Johnson is denying all of them. That being said, the way that I look at it, these are very extreme claims, and it would be pretty wild for The Wrap to just report on this stuff without there being like a grain of truth to it at the very least. Like, maybe The Rock wasn't late for 8 hours consistently, but it definitely seems like he's been pretty consistently late on the movies that he's worked on. To be frank, like 8 hours late is insane. 1 or 2 hours late, if you're doing that consistently, that's still really bad. Like, that is still somebody that I would not want to work with. So, in any case, let me know what you think about all of that in the comments down below. The Rock seems like a bit of a scumbag in some senses. I mean, maybe he's still like a nice guy, like in person. Like, I'm sure he's not like an actual like evil person, but in the professional field, being late to your job is one of the worst things that I feel like you can do professionally. So in that sense, he seems like a bit of a cringe person. Obviously I don't know the man personally, so I'm not going to sit here and say that he's a bad person necessarily, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.